Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and on the 2 videos that I have done so far for the Dash Mini Bundt Maker, the 2 most common questions/requests I've gotten are 1. Could you do a savory bundt cake? And 2. How would a cake prepared in the Dash Mini Sandwich Maker compare to a bundt cake? So I'm going to give you a 2-for-1 in this video. Not only are we going to try out 2 of my favorite savory chaffle recipes, we're going to compare them head to head in the Dash Mini Bundt Maker and the Dash Mini Sandwich Maker. The 2 recipes that I am going to be doing are the stuffing chaffle recipe, or in this case, I guess it's the stuffing bundt cake recipe, and the self-contained pizza chaffle/bundt cake. I will include the recipes to both of those down below in the description. In my experience, a standard 2 chaffle recipe seems to be just about the right amount to make a bundt cake. I'm not so sure when it comes to the sandwich maker because I haven't tried that yet. So for this video, I will be making a double batch of each of those 2 recipes. So if you feel there's like a disconnect between the amount that I'm using in this video and what shows up on the website and the recipe, the reason is I'm doubling it. So with that, let's get to making our first savory bundt cake / triangular sandwich thing. We're going to do the stuffing chaffle / bundt cake / sandwich. As is the case with chaffles, I will be using a mini food processor to really grind up my ingredients together. This helps keep the cheese from sinking down to the bottom. Speaking of cheese, I'm going to start with 1 cup or 115 grams of shredded mozzarella cheese. Our next dry ingredient is 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup, that's 25 grams, of almond flour. 2 tablespoons or 16 grams of coconut flour. 1 tablespoon or 7 grams of oat fiber. 1 tablespoon or 5 grams of unflavored whey protein isolate. And 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. And then we'll process this until it looks like fine breadcrumbs. There we go. You'd never even know that there was mozzarella in there. Now we'll add our wet ingredients, starting with 2 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of chicken broth or chicken stock, and then we'll process this together into a batter. And finally add 2 tablespoons of stuffing herbs, which we'll mix in with just a couple of pulses. Okay, it took a little bit more than a couple of pulses. Now we'll move this out of the way and preheat our Dash Minis. The total weight of my batter was right about 300 grams, so I've divided it in 2. It'll be very interesting to see how this turns out, given that this batter is very thick and there is no sort of leavening agent in it. Now we're going to give these about 8 to 10 minutes to cook. It has been 8 minutes. This is wild. Even though we didn't have any sort of a chemical leavener, it's still puffed up really nicely. Pop this off. All right, our little sandwich things don't look nearly as pretty. And we'll move these off to a cooling rack. We'll let these cool for a few minutes while we make our self-contained pizza chaffle recipe. For the pizza chaffle, we once again start with our dry ingredients: 1 cup of shredded mozzarella, 115 grams. 2 tablespoons of almond flour. 1/2 teaspoon Italian seasoning. Pulse this together. Then we'll add 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of tomato paste, and we'll mix this into a batter. And finally, I have 24 slices of pepperoni that I have chopped up. Pulse this in. And then we'll set this aside while we preheat our Dash Minis. I have split my batter into 2 bowls. Let's get it into the Dash Mini. And we'll give these 8 or 9 minutes to cook. It has been 9 minutes. You know, some people were asking, is it possible to make a bagel in the Mini Bundt Maker? This looks an awful lot like a bagel. And then we got our triangles. While the pizza one's cool, we're going to try out the stuffing. Now I can tell you in terms of aesthetics, the bundt cake one looks better. Not bad. It's good. I think you could definitely double the amount of stuffing herbs, and I'm probably going to make a note of that on the recipe on the website. The thing is, I just don't know what I would eat in this particular shape. I mean, it's not really conducive to a sandwich. I mean, I suppose you could put some turkey between 2 triangles. Let's try out the bundt cake. Now this, I could definitely see cutting crosswise and using as a bun, provided the texture is where it needs to be. Oh my. This is so much more moist than the sandwich maker. And what's interesting too is the fact that this rose up inside the bundt maker, even without any sort of baking powder in it. Yeah, I gotta believe that slicing this crosswise, throwing it in a toaster, a little turkey on it, maybe some bacon mayo, I think this would be an outstanding sandwich bun. And I feel like I'm getting more of the stuffing herbs out of this one as well. Hands down, bundt cake, winner. Now we'll try the pizza flavor in the triangle shape. That's tasty. I mean, how can you go wrong with pepperoni and mozzarella? It's got that crispy mozzarella texture along the bottom side, still sort of soft and moist on the inside. I could totally see dipping this in some marinara. Definitely the pizza performs better in the sandwich maker than the stuffing version. Then we've got the pizza bundt cake. And let me tell you, this has got the heft of a bagel to it. I'm pretty excited about this. Also, very good. I think this particular recipe in the bundt maker probably could have gone another 2 minutes. Still kind of moist on the inside, but I think this could absolutely be a bagel substitute, sort of a pizza bagel, either with some cream cheese and or like some Italian beef on one of these. I would still probably slice it crosswise and toast it. Definitely though, I would cook it probably for a full maybe 11 minutes. And if you want some more chew to make it even more sort of bagely, I'd consider adding half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. This actually has me kind of curious to see if I might be able to pull off a bagel using some vital wheat gluten, a little more chew. So when I got this bundt maker and did my initial video, which I can link to right up here, I was kind of on the fence with it. I wasn't sure if this was really going to be something that I could recommend. I can tell you now, after doing the mug cake experiment and doing this experiment, I can recommend the bundt cake maker. Now I realize that it is kind of difficult to find. I know the 2 main places that sell it are Kohl's department store and Target. Hopefully it'll show up on Amazon at some point before the end of the year, but I don't know. Maybe it just winds up being an exclusive for some of those retail stores. Also, the price tends to be anywhere between about $17 and $20, which makes it half the price of the Dash Mini Sandwich Maker. So after these experiments, I feel very comfortable in recommending the Dash Mini Bundt Maker, especially if you're into making single-serving recipes. It's great for making desserts, mug cakes, and now we see also breads, buns, potentially bagels. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified whenever I release a new video, tap that bell and select all notifications. And lastly, if you'd like to help contribute to the success of the Serious Keto Test Kitchen, click that join button and see what membership options are all about. Thanks for watching.